Hi, everybody, and welcome to Cat Chat Tuesday. If you've not hopped on this chat before, my name's Amanda. I'm a clinical feline behaviourist at cats.com, and this is one of my fur babies. This is Hugo. And I always make the mistake of fussing him, and then I get his fur on my hands, and then I'm constantly rubbing my face for the rest of the evening during our conversation. So if there's any questions that anybody wants to ask, please feel free to pop them in the chat bar. And also, a couple of things to let you know. I can't answer any veterinary or medical questions. I will always refer you on to your vet. But if there's any behavioural red flags that you want to talk about, then by all means pop those in there and I'll do my very best to answer them. And if I can't, then I will find out and I will get back to you. And also for people that are watching this on catch up, then I do pop back into the chat for about a week afterwards. So if you want to ask a question, then I can answer it for you then as well. So just because you're watching on catch up, then don't worry. I'll be able to answer your question. And I've got a marvellous moderator. That was a bit of a tongue twister. My marvellous moderator, Bev, and she'll be popping links in. So if you want to ask something about a product that I've mentioned, Bev's got them all ready. Hello there, Christis King. I have a cat who doesn't like to go to use the bathroom inside the litter box. Use the bathroom inside the litter box. Can you help me? Okay, great question. So I take it then your cat is soiling outside of the litter box. One of the first things we need to do when you've got a cat that's soiling outside the litter box is get a vet check. If it's some cats will just urinate outside and others will defecate outside. If it's defecating inside the litter box, but it's urinating outside of the litter box, then you need to get a urine sample taken from the cat. It's not really that difficult. Did by magic, I've got a little bag here of these little granules. You put these in a litter tray, and hopefully your cat will provide you with a sample, or on the floor suck it up with a syringe and take that off to the vet, and then your vet can give some analysis. You don't actually always have to take your cat along to the vet. I'd also have a look at your type of substrate that you're providing. Some cats become really averse to harder, coarser substrates. The wood pellets are normally favourite that cats will go off. It can be a little bit sore on the paws. Other cats will use them fine. But if your cat is not using the litter tray, it could be the tray location. So think, is it in a quiet place that the cat can have access to discreetly? You wouldn't want to go and spend a penny in a busy hallway on your toilet. So it's the same for cats. They want to be very quiet and private. And also the style of the tray. If it's got a flap on it, then this can actually increase an aversion to using a tray, because it can actually make the cat feel claustrophobic. Cats like to be able to see what's coming towards them. And I think I've said it before that flaps on cat trays are actually there for humans, not for cats. So I would go through all of those, and on my TikTok channel there's a whole playlist just on urination and defecation outside of the box. But hopefully, well, it'll definitely be one of those things, Christis, because cats don't do anything by accident. So where your cat is soiling presently, it's preferred to the litter tray. So I hope that helps. Oh, YouTube went a little bit bonkers then, Bev. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I agree, Tom. Cats simply are the best. How many cats have you got? Tell me. In fact, all of you, tell me how many cats you've got, and yeah, give me likes and hearts and everything, because I know that's really, really good, because it shows me that you're enjoying this conversation, and because it's very one way. There's only me talking, so your feedback lets me know that you're enjoying the chat. So he was a stray cat that came to our house with a broken leg, and we fixed it. He's been checked by the doctor, but he still chooses to poop outside of the box and pee outside of the box. So again, there could be a pain differential here. Differential meaning a reason for what's going on. Maybe speak to your vet about a pain trial as well, and also a shallow litter tray. That can also help, just like it can with more senior cats, because they tend to get a lot of arthritis as they age, and your cat may have arthritis already because of the injuries that it sustained. So if it is that he's having to step into the litter box too much, it may be too much for him, or maybe it's too small a space. So have a look at the size of the litter tray and also the substrate. Cats innately like to dig, so it's a good idea to have a substrate about 7 to 10 centimetres, as soft and sandy as possible, and clumping as well. Clumping's really good. It's easier for you to then take away the soiled litter. Tom, you've got an orange tomcat that likes to jump on our roof. He's about a year old. Wow. Okay, so he's really, really adventurous. Then, when you say he's a tomcat, is he neutered? Cats that aren't neutered, especially males, will probably be a little bit more adventurous. But he does sound good fun. I agree, Bev. Um, so, Tom, you've got an adult and two beautiful kittens. Oh, how lovely. I bet they keep you busy as well. Hi, Nicole. What's the line between play fighting and actual fighting? My boys start playing, but it gets very rough. When I move them apart, they have fuzzy and puffy tails. Are they fighting? I'd probably need to see a video of this, but some cats will play really hard. And the way you can tell is, do they have a good relationship together? Are they bonded? Do they groom each other? Do they interact with each other generally? And then if the play fighting starts and it does get a bit feisty, that can still be play. Generally, my rule of thumb is, if cats are play fighting, and even if it looks quite, full on, if they don't need the vet afterwards, then it's all good. They're playing and fighting within their level of communication. So I would, if you do feel that it's getting a little bit too much, rather than try and separate them, I would try and distract them. And cats do get fuzzy and puffy tails when they are actually fighting, but they also get it with excitement as well. So that's why I'd really need to see a video on this. If you want to send me a video of it on my Instagram, you're absolutely fine and very, very welcome, and I will answer it, I promise. Ka, you love these sessions. Thank you so much. That's really nice. That's really nice to know. Pamela, you've got two precious kitties. Why is it Why or Wee Wee? And Mimi, I love them so much. I bet you do. What fabulous names as well. And Tom's saying his orange boy is very adventurous. Oh, he is neutered. Fabulous. Okay, so he's just a very, very adventurous cat. Oh, yeah, Bev said, welcome to all our silent watchers. Yeah, not everybody wants to ask a question, but don't be shy, because remember, there's no question that is a silly question. And you might be asking a question that somebody else is sitting there thinking, well, I really want to ask that question, but might sound a bit silly. But I've heard lots and lots of different questions before, that people will say that they feel are silly questions, but they're actually not. And it's really good to raise these questions, and it opens up a discussion, which is what this idea is for on a Cat Chat Tuesday. No judgment, just very informal and imparting knowledge between us all. Carol, last night your cat saw something outside in the dark and then tried to attack the dog and bit me. 2-year-old spayed brown tabby. So this, obviously, it sounds like a redirected aggression. It could be that the cat, I mean, I'm just guessing now, but it could be that the cat saw another cat outside, got frustrated because it couldn't get to that cat, and then redirected its frustration and its aggression onto you. So it is a normal behaviour, and it's normally really difficult if it happens between cats. And the way you would do that is just separate them. Obviously, you've got to protect yourself. Be aware that this is perhaps happening. If there's any way that you can use opaque film or something on the windows during darkness, if there is another cat coming round, that would be helpful. You must protect yourself. Try using a synthetic pheromone plug-in in the home as well. That would be also helpful, because your cat is really, really stressed at this point if it's attacking you and the dog, and also frustrated. So you need to be able to manage the cat's stress and frustration as well. So I hope that helps there. How best to prepare one cat for another cat's return from the vet. When I take my little girl to the vet, her brother becomes very disgruntled upon her return and hisses, and sometimes begins to hit. Pamela, that's a great question. So it's when a cat comes back from the vet, they obviously have had a period of absence where they've not been in the home, and it's not that the cat doesn't recognize visually the cat that's come back from the vet. It's the fact that the cat doesn't recognize the cat's smell. So one thing I would always do is, when you bring your other cat back from the vet, keep them separate in another room for a good couple of hours, so that they can absorb the normal smell of the home. What you can do, which is really good, is get pet remedy wipes, and you can wipe that over the cat, and you can wipe it over the resident cat that hasn't been to the vets. And this will just absorb some of the vet smells, the clinical smells, etc. And then when you do bring them together, make sure that you're playing, or you've given them treats. Give them a licky mat each with a treat on, but I'd definitely leave it a couple of hours. And if your cat's having surgery, then you may want to leave it a little bit longer. What you can do then is do a visual introduction first, maybe through a baby gate, so that they can actually see each other, and your cat will recognize the cat that's come back from the vet, and hopefully by which time the smell will have dissipated. There's a video on this on my TikTok, how in more detail, but I think in a nutshell that would really help. And again, using synthetic pheromone plug-in devices in the home as well. As I think, if you can understand what, from your cat's perspective, what your cat is going through, then it's not just being horrible. There's a reason for that, and it's a territorial response. It could be a fear response, because the cat doesn't recognize this imposter that's just come into the home by smell. The cat looks like the cat that went earlier this morning. So it's not necessarily the time apart, it's the fragrance, the smell of the cat that comes back from the vet. So another thing you could do is transfer your cat that hasn't been for the vet, transfer his scent using a sock on your hand, wiping his mouth, and then wiping the other cat as well. So you're transferring the scent. Oh, Basil's just come to join me. So I do hope that helps. What about Vegas? I want to get a new best friend for my Sphinx cat, whose buddy passed away 2 years ago. Oh. How long does it typically take to integrate a new cat to him? And do you think I need his new friend to be Sphinx? Not necessarily. In terms of the same breed, you could get a rescue. I mean, typically it's easier to introduce a kitten with a resident cat, because kittens are generally more robust, and they'll literally just let me pick up Basil here. They will be far more accommodating to the adult cats. That's for sure, and vice versa. It can take anything up to 6 months, usually longer for an adult cat that you're bringing in. I would, rather than look at the breed, I would look at the personality of the cat that you've got at the moment, the resident cat. And if it's a very confident cat, lots of character, then you probably want to match that with a cat of similar personality. Likewise, if it's a very quiet cat, you're not going to want to get a really confident, rambunctious, if that's even a word, kitten, because that might be too much for it. So don't necessarily think in terms of breed, although breeds do have certain heritability personality traits. I'd think about the personality and give them plenty of time. So if you think it's just going to be 2 weeks and they're going to be best friends, then you're going to be rushing the whole process, and that could set yourself up for lots of negative interactions. Again, there's lots of information on introduction and introducing cats and kittens on my TikTok, and there may be some on the courses on cats.com as well. So if you haven't come across these courses, if you go over to cats.com, they are all there. They're courses that I've done and some other professionals as well. But it literally is in depth, talking you through various things such as trimming nail claws, taking your cat to the vets, getting your cat carrier trained. So there's a whole host of those, and there's more coming over soon. Okay, Basil, that was short-lived, but he's covered me with lots of fur. So I hope that goes well, Vegas, and do tell us next time if you can make the chat, and let's see how that goes. Bear with me when I just have a look at these now. Nicole, my boys are siblings. They love each other to bits. Maybe I'm just a bit overprotective. No vet visits needed afterwards. They chase each other and wrestle each other rather than else. It sounds like absolutely perfect. I've got 2 Bengals, and when they play fight, they fight hard. And very often I'll send this video over to my clients when they get anxious about play fighting, and people ask that question quite often, and I'll send that over, and it looks horrific, it sounds horrific. I'll always say to them, play it when there's no cats around, because they're really shouting and screaming at one another, and it does sound very, very frightening, but they're best buddies. So maybe it's the same for you, Nicole, in your house. Okay, Christis, we found a stray cat from outside. Do you believe that's why our indoor cat poops outside of the litter box and pees? Oh, you feed a stray cat outside. Yeah, possibly it could be. I'd want to look at all the other things first, especially because this your cat had an injury. So I'd want to look at those other differentials, those other reasons first. But yeah, if you are feeding a stray cat, it could be stress response to the fact that you're feeding the stray cat. Is the stray cat neutered? Because if it isn't, then that's definitely going to be a good reason why your cat is doing that. So maybe if you can feed the stray cat somewhere else, further away from the home, and then get some odor eliminator. I think it's called Odorcide in the States, if that's where you're from. Make a solution of that with 50% water, 50% Odorcide, and spray or watering can all of the outside of the perimeter of the house, just to rule out that as a cause as well. Hello, babe. Babe Vaughn, I've just brought my boy Bug home from the hospital 2 days ago. He was diagnosed with cystitis. He's on Bruponex and gabapentin. What should his urinating be right now? That's a medical question. So I can't really answer that other than to say your cat should be urinating normally, and it shouldn't be straining. And if there is any other symptoms, then please go back to your vets. And idiopathic cystitis, if it wasn't caused by crystals or struvite or anything like that, if it is idiopathic cystitis, that could be a stress response as well. Now, whether that's to pain or environmental stress. So with idiopathic cystitis, it's always crucial to find out the why it's happened in the first place. So has anything changed in the home? Has a new cat come in the neighborhood? Have you been decorating? Had visitors, new baby, anything like that? Think about what could have happened. Was it even a change of routine? Did you have you been on holiday or had a day off work and you went out for the day? Could be anything. To give you an example, Hugo loves his cat tree, and he had a really, really tall cat tree with a nice hammock in it. And when the Bengals were kittens, it was really too high for them. So I made the cat tree lower. And so Hugo no longer had his hammock, and that caused idiopathic cystitis. That made him so stressed, and within a matter of hours he was peeing blood in the litter tray. He was in and out, and I've never forgotten that. That's just the tiniest thing for me, but it's a big thing for him. So don't underestimate what the cause may be. I think that's the moral of that story. Um, Tom's got catnip growing all around our house and they love it. I bet they do. Gosh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I do exactly the same thing. So I harvest it when it's flowering, and I pick up the buds before it's even flowered, dry it, get it in your hands, bruise it, and then you know it's lovely. They go wild for it. There's different types of catnip as well, and not all of them have the same cat attractant, the chemical I've forgotten what it is now, but it Nepal, I don't know, but that chemical in it anyway, and it's that actually makes them a bit high. Oh, thanks, Bev. Bev's put the thing for Pet Remedy in there. Pet Remedy is a bit different. It's phytotherapy, so it's a cat attractant, but it's not a stimulant in quite the same way as catnip. Babe, so he was flushed and his hospital stay was 3 days. Oh gosh, okay. So it may, I don't know, I'm not a vet, but obviously it may be that there was something like a blockage or something else like that. But Tom thinks cats are psychic. I think cats are psychotic sometimes. Cats can actually feel vibrations. I don't mean spiritual vibrations. I mean, they can feel vibrations. They can see different light refractions and things, which can very often make people think that cats have supernatural powers. And of course, there's a lot of history and myth surrounding cats as well. Unfortunately for black cats, not always been positive in the past. Okay. Oh, Pamela. Okay. Pet rescue. Okay. So the pet rescue, um, pet remedy. So they have wipes, they have sprays, they have calming plug-in diffusers, and it works on all animals, and even works on horses as well. And I've been using this quite a bit. This is a quick wash, no rinse shampoo. It just takes out any grease from Noodle's coat. So fabulous. New kittens from outside. Oh gosh, what's the name of the urine eliminator spray stuff I was talking about? Whereabouts are you, Christis? It's Odicide. That's in the States. It's called Ideal 365, which you can get on Amazon in this country, but it's Odicide, and that is ODORCIDE. Oh, Hugo. Yeah, Hugo's gone. They're all, I've got Pudding is just sitting here looking at me. There are hundreds and thousands of cats walking to South Miami and congregating in one area. Have I ever heard of that? No, I haven't. Gosh, that's really, really strange. I've never heard of that at all. I can't think that there would be any behavioural reason why that would happen unless it was a colony that was just moving. But no, I've never heard of that at all. KA, do I prefer Pet Remedy over Fellaway? Is there a difference between them? Great question. Yes, there is. So Fellaway, that's a brand name, is a synthetic pheromone. So your cats will exude pheromones, their own natural pheromones, from the interdigital glands in their paws, from their faces, along their back, their tail, and around the anal glands as well. So there's all different pheromone areas that the cats will secrete. Then they're natural pheromones, and you may see a cat rubbing up against a wall, and there may be greasy marks on the wall, and that's actually where the cat is depositing its scent. So it's a good idea not to remove those greasy marks, because that's the cat's, I suppose, calling card. Say, this is where I live here. That's their comfort blanket. So a synthetic plug of that is a synthetic blend. Pudding's about to jump up the top now. Oh, well done. That's a synthetic blend of those pheromones, and depending on the different blends that they have, because the cats have got 6 facial pheromones, so depending on the blend, it will actually help with different situations that you might have in the home. So that's synthetic pheromones. Phytotherapy, which is pet remedy, is a blend of cat attractants that are very calming to a cat. So you could say it's aromatherapy, but I think that's a little bit too glib to say that. Really, it's far more ingenious than that, and there's done a lot of research on the impact of these natural aromas that can have on cats. So in pet remedy there is vetiver, valerian and clary sage, to name a few, and they are all very, very soothing, soporific, calming herbs, and that result that you get from that is instant. So I really like to have a pet remedy plug in the home and a synthetic pheromone as well. So I have the two in tandem and always plug them in at cat nose height. And then the added bonus of pet remedy is it comes in sprays. I mean, this is just a little one, but you can see. I mean, it's a shame we can't have smeller cam, but it's quite herby, and I know they've just changed the formulation of it, so it appeals more to the human nose. But I'm not bothered. I like it. Some people don't like it, but hopefully, Kay, that's helped you. White vinegar neutralizes cat urine smell. Tom, it may well do, but what it doesn't do is remove the fatty deposits left in the urine. So when you're doing any cleaning protocol, when it comes to mopping up cat urine, you always need to use a 2-stage process. And if you go onto my TikTok, there's a pin post there for the cleaning protocol, and I explain why you need to use two products. Certainly, excuse me, if you wanted to use vinegar for one, you would then need to use isopropyl alcohol afterwards to remove the fatty deposits, because otherwise they'll still be there and then your cat will just overmark again. But yeah, that's another, and it's obviously very, very cheap as well. Bev, you use the pet remedy wipes around the cat carrier and the spray and our special vet blanket too. Works a treat. It does. It really does calm them down. Yay, pudding. Can you see? I don't know whether you can see. Can you see? I've got light that's. Can you see the lights that are just? That's what she's looking at. She's having a great time up there. Have a beautiful day. I'd better call my vet. Thank you for your answer. Praying all is well with you all and for your babies. Get your kitty water fountains to encourage drinking. Bye bye. Bye. Lovely to have you join us, and see you next time. Yes, can we all send some hearts for Pudding? I think Pudding her preferred treats, to be honest, because she's so food motivated. Talking about hydration, I think it's really important to. I'm just looking at her now, thinking, oh, what devastation is she going to cause? Thinking about summer safety for cats and making sure that if your cat is going out, try and know where it is so it doesn't get locked into sheds and garages that are left open when people are mowing the lawns, and then they shut the door and your cat gets trapped inside. If that does happen, have leaflets, hand out to your neighbours, ask them to check sheds and so on. But yeah, it's really important to think about your cat's hydration. It is really crucial. Cats notoriously are hard to get water into them, but there are other ways that you could do it. You water play, so it could be enrichment as well as hydration. Casserole dishes, I've mentioned that before, and I'm sure you've all seen this before, but for anybody who hasn't, this is the little kiddie pool, and it comes from Amazon, but you don't have to use one of these. You could just use a baking tray or a muffin tin with some little with water in, and then drop some little toys and things in the water and get your cat to encourage your cat to put their paws in there and get the water on. You could freeze diluted tuna water into ice cubes and put that and let those float around on a casserole dish as well. It's anything really to get your cat hydrated. And also wasp and stingy bees and things like that. You may need to speak to a vet about that if your cat does get stung. But obviously avoidance is better than than them getting stung in the first place. Those fly papers, they're great for catching flies, but they're also superb at catching Bengals, as I found. So I hung some up. They were really, really out of reach, but not out of Bengal reach, apparently. And Rocco had got it all wrapped around his neck, and it was all sticky. It was horrible. It took me days to get that out, which is why I've been using that. But it really did stress him, and I felt like the worst cat parent ever, because I put this up to try and catch the insects that were flying around, because Hugo has given up catching flies now for a living. He just prefers to watch them. So yeah, be mindful those fly traps. Just because you think they're up high, if the cat can get to them, which obviously Rocco made his mission to get, no idea how he got it, but luckily we got to him quite quickly. Oh, Christ is King. I see, it's Christ is King. I do apologise. And so fabulous to have you join me from Florida. That's amazing. So it's really important that you keep your cats hydrated in Florida as well. Um, any more questions, anybody? Or shall we go on to red flags, behavioural red flags? Has anybody got any of those? Behavioural red flags can be really, really subtle ones. It could be that your cat isn't using its litter tray. It could be that your cat is just acting differently, just ever so slightly, and you just have that thought, thinking, they haven't been up today, or they haven't done something today that is normal for them. That is a behavioural red flag. Any other ideas? Hi, Tiki. Any other ideas how to keep a kitty cool besides AC and a fan? Well, it's obvious, really. Well, I think it's obvious. You've got to keep the heat out. The houses in the UK here are designed to keep heat in. So for me, it's windows closed, blinds down, and live like a little mole for however long until the really heat of the day passes. Obviously, in different countries, particularly America, you're well equipped with AC. The cooling mats are quite good as well. If you can get your cat to get on it, the cooling mats can be quite good. But don't just get the cooling mat out and expect the cat to sit on it and know that it's going to cool them down. And the sensation is going to feel quite strange for them as well. What you need to do is get them to make friends with the cooling mat first. And the way you can do that is spray it with Pet Remedy, or pop some cat attractants on there, and certainly put a high reward treat on there. So they're walking on there, they can feel the gel, but they're getting a high reward treat. If that doesn't work, then pop in the Licky Licks. You can put them in the freezer and then get them out and mash them so they're really cold onto one of these, and pop that onto the cooling mat as well. So that would be quite good, because then your cat is going to be standing on the cooling mat, and cats sweat through the pores. So that's going to cool them down, and then also they'll be licking this as well. So you just have to make them make friends with it, not encourage them to make friends with the cooling mat, and then hopefully when they realize it is quite comfortable, then a cooling mat could be quite good. Water games, again, I think that's going to be your best friend as well. So encouraging your cat to play in water, little things such as treats bobbing about. Some of the you can't see them here, they're further over there. The freeze-dried treats they will bob along on water as well. So a Thrive or Catkin Nibbles, and I'm trying to think, Encore, I think they may do some as well. Any of those sort of freeze-dried treats will float on the water initially, and that will encourage the cat to tap into the water. So using muffin tins filled up with little things, that's quite good. Oh, Bev's just a water toy for the little pool. It's a baby toy, but I'm sure Goose will love it. Yeah, they are good, Bev. Those, I've got some here, the floating ones. The only thing I did want to say is that I've seen some of the little, I don't know whether there must be like minute battery operated little fish or something, which visually look great, but I'm just worried about the working parts in there. If the cat did hook one out and it's got a battery in, could that be an issue if the cat ingested it? So be mindful of that. Hi, Paul. Your cat, Luku, keeps looking in my bedroom mirror. They are on a glass doom. Can she see if are they on a glass? Sorry, I can't understand that. Can she see if something's going on? Thank you from the USA. Basically, when cats look in mirrors, I've actually done a video, and I said, if you've got one of these, and it was a mirror, and one of these, and I got Hugo in the mirror. You need to know what the interaction is with cats and mirrors. The cat doesn't think it's another cat, for starters. The cat does recognize it's a feeling. I don't think they necessarily think it's a threat to them, but they can see different light refractions in a mirror. So that's probably what your cat's looking at. So are they on but they're on a glass dome? Can she see if something's going on? Yeah, reword that a little bit. I don't know whether it's my eyes or your spelling. And I'll hopefully answer it better. Your cat Lucy. Oh, your cat Lucy. Oh, it is your typing. That's fine. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm thinking it's me, which is probably the case anyway. I'm moving by, hi Carol, you're moving by car with two cats that will be taking gabapentin the night before and just before we leave. Do you think they should have a second after 12 hours for the hotel? Again, that is a vet question. I'm so sorry, I can't answer that. But if you want to pop that into the question after we finish, then I can certainly tag in the cats.com vet and she can answer that for you. Because or ask your own vet as well, because that's really important that you don't overdose them. But you don't say how long your journey is. Just make sure that they've got plenty of water for the journey, and they've got these little collapsible bowls, which are great. Some cats can even be trained to use, oh, she looks like she's on the head. Some cats can even be trained to use hamster bottles to get the water out. I mean, that would be a great little plaything as well, if you could get one of those fitted up for you. Answering the other lady about water play, that would be quite good to do if you can train your cat to literally keep tapping the ball and the water would come out. I think that would keep them occupied, but these things are quite good as well for car journeys and things. But yeah, either pop your question in here or after I've finished, and I'll tag in the vet, or just speak to your own vet as well. Oh, yours are USB, but they're not out often. Oh gosh, 2 days. Yeah, Carol, that's a long time. Yeah, I definitely would speak to your vet about that, because you don't want to have them stressed. Make sure that they're obviously, I presume you're going to either cage them or they'll be in a nice soft crate or something that they're secured safely. Take regular breaks. Litter tray, take a litter tray and leave some of their existing litter in that they've already used in there, so that'll have their familiar scent in, and a blanket from home and things. That will be helpful to them as well. And again, Pet Remedy be brilliant for that, for traveling. When you're in the car, think about the music that you're playing in the car as well. If you can, either put very calming music on, low level sound, because they will be very stressed from all the different traffic noise. So if they can have like white noise or something, as long as it doesn't send you to sleep on your journey, that would be okay. Lots of breaks in car journeys too. We did an hour and that was stressful. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I get stressed if I have to take the cats either 5 minutes to the local vet clinic, or heaven forbid it's 20 minutes. I get really stressed. So, and there's me always saying to people, don't get stressed, because you'll project your stress onto your cats. Yeah, the secret is as well making sure that you prepare in advance, and that your cat has made friends with the cat carrier. So your cat carrier should be left out all the time, really, so it becomes part of the furniture, and then maybe take it away for a couple of days and then bring it out again. Think about toys that the cat can have in the car, in it, something soft that they can just bat around, a little matatabi or something like that. That's a new one I've picked up. That's quite good. They couldn't get tangled in there. But Matsutabi sticks in general are really good. It's a cat attractant. It's not as stimulating as a catnip, but they certainly do like it as well. So think about regular breaks where you can get them out. If they're harness trained, you take them for a walk on the harness. But if not, if you just get them out, and if they're on the back seat of the car, your car is still contained, you can let them out and then you can put them back safely. But be really, really careful about having windows open, anything like that, because it has been known that other cats will actually get out of cars, and I would hate that for you. Nicole, it's winter here in South Africa and very cold. My cats ask for supper very early. Should I feed them more during winter? I feed them dry food mixed with cooked pumpkin mash. Fabulous. Be guided, Nicole, by their overall body conformation, not necessarily just the scales. They will need more calories, obviously, in the winter. They need more calories to keep warm. If they're asking for food or earlier, I like to suggest using a food timer, but not necessarily just for food. So you get these round food timers with about 6 different discs in them, and in there you could maybe I put up one of these, the flat ones, the licky mats, and then put that inside, and then put a licky licks in there, or a churro, a cat yogurt treat, and then in another one you could put something like that. In another one, as the portions go round, you can set them to go off every half an hour, so it gives them some enrichment. You could pop in a snuffle mat. Here's Sydney just walking in. That's it. Come on, walk along, walk along. If it all suddenly goes off, she's ended the chat, ended the stream. So I would do something like that. Snuffle mats are really good for getting them to engage and to forage. And I mean, I'll probably bring this out every time now, but that is just a cardboard box with some tissue paper in, and you could drop some kibble or some high reward treats in there, and let them have fun foraging in there, to try and make their meal time last a little bit longer. So yeah, I hope you have not too harsh a winter in South Africa, Nicole. Pip, oh no, don't go on there. Ideas how I can help my kittens satiety. She acts like she's never fed. She's currently shy of 10 pounds, 4.5. She's 10 months old and gets about 200 calories a day, all wet food. Well, 4.5, I mean, I know she's a young girl, but 4.5, again, I don't think we should be too infatuated by the scales per se, because if she's part Maine Coon, for example, she's going to be a cobby cat, and she's going to be much heavier than a regular breed. So I think it's all about conformation. Sydney's rolling around on this now. It's all about conformation and ensuring that she is fed regularly. I would probably feed her 3 times a day. I think okay, body scores good. Okay, that's excellent. It's fantastic that you know that as well. I think I'd be wanting to suggest feeding 3 times a day if possible. Smaller portions, not increasing the calories, smaller portions, so that, again, I think it's a long time to wait from breakfast to dinner time for a cat. So if you can add in something else in between, using foragers. Obviously, you can't use wet food in foragers. You could use slow feeders to slow her down, but that may help. There are some foods that will have more dense carbohydrate in there, which is going to not necessarily high calorific value and protein and so on. But I think I'd be more wanting to think about, okay, what can I use to enrich my cat's life, to make her feel that she's not always thinking about food. Some of the dry kibble brands, they have satiety mixes. You don't have to use these as a food per se. You could actually use these as enrichment, and pop them in. If you didn't want to use anything like that, again, freeze-dried treats, freeze-dried rabbit ears, low calorific value, but certainly it keeps them happy and enriched and foraging. So I would look at perhaps more the type of enrichment that you can give her extra calories, albeit only a few, if that helps. But I'm really impressed, you know, her body condition score as well. That's great. Carol, just getting into the carriers is traumatic for them. The 3-year-old starts howling immediately, and he gets in the carrier on his own sometimes to sleep. I'd be scared to let them out anywhere. Yeah, fair comments. My older female cat escaped from the catio, became pregnant. She gave birth to 4 kittens 3 weeks ago. Now my youngest female cat hates the oldest and her kittens. How can I reintroduce them? That's a great question. You're going to have a maternal instinct, maternal aggression at the moment. So I think I'd be really concerned, or I'd be making sure that I kept them totally separate until at least the kittens were weaned and were a lot more independent. And then I would reintroduce them then with visual introduction with baby gates, stacked baby gates, so that the female cats can't get to each other. Because you will, if you've got a glass door, that's something else that you can use. But a female cat will be very, very protective of her kittens. So don't push that at all. Just give them time, and it may take a good while. And if they have a negative experience early on while she's got the kittens, it'll be really difficult then to get them to cohabit or coexist afterwards. You leave next Wednesday. Have a safe trip, Carol, and do speak to the vet and let us know how you get on as well. She's fed 4 times a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and right before bed. That's a great idea. She does have a snuffle mat that we use from time to time. Thank you. That does help. Oh, brilliant. Before you go, let me just show you what sort of things I would suggest as well. I mean, I should keep rolling these out every time. It doesn't just have to be a snuffle mat. This is a dog toy. Pop your little treats in there, and then they just rock those around and they come out. It's a bit harder than the other ones because it is aimed at dogs. So that would be quite good. This Catic one is excellent as well. Has different inserts to make it a little bit harder. And the windmill, that's another one. So different sized holes there depending on what treats you want to dispense. And again, the cat learns that if it just spins it round, the way you can actually slow them down in that with the larger hole is just pop some little bits of tissue paper in there, or silver foil or something, so that the treats have to work the way down. So that makes it again a little bit harder, but that's another great dog toy. So maybe a vet question. Hi, Star. One of my cats throws up 98% of wet food. I've tried Purina 1 for sensitive tummies with no luck. Any ideas? Well, my question is, come on, Sydney. Oh dear, that's everything on the floor now. My question is, how quickly after eating her food is this? Is it food bath? Is she just bolting her food and then she's throwing it up? In which case, if that is the reason, it doesn't matter what food you give her, she's just eating it too quick. So again, something like that, one of these, or a slow feeder. I've got a bowl somewhere, I don't know where it is, it's in the box here. Again, look at the dog slow feeder. Gosh, I'm making a row. No, can't find it. A dog slow feeder. Doc and Phoebe, this range do a a slow feeder just for cats. Of course, it's shaped like a mouse, and you can mash all the food in. That will prevent food bath because it will make her eat slower. So, and then if she's eating a food and it's digested, and then it's just like a bile, not a bile, but it's a brown liquid that is just started the digestive process, and that's coming up, that sounds like it's potentially more, oh, that was a big jump down, more of maybe a food intolerance. So that, yeah, I'd speak to your vet about that. So, oh, like 5 to 10 minutes. That sounds like food bath star, to be honest. Try feeding smaller portions, even if you have to feed. I mean, even if, say, you're feeding a sachet, even if you have to feed a tablespoon at a time and wait for those 10 minutes to pass and then feed her again another bit, just try that, because it does sound like food bath. She's still eating it too quickly. It's undigested food. Okay, so it's definitely food bath, which is good because we don't want it to have an intolerance. That can be really difficult to find out. Um, oh, Bev, thank you. You're putting the things in there, the links. Thank you so much. Yeah, you put elevate the cat's feeding bowl. Some cats cannot eat from bowls lower than the heads. That's very, very good advice. Yeah, why didn't I think about that? That's absolutely brilliant. In fact, with this one, because it's got suckers on, sometimes I've got the elevated feeding bowl for Basil because he's senior, and to lower his head, that can be difficult for him. So I use this and stick that onto the dish. And there's some great raised feeding bowls on Amazon as well. Go for ceramic if possible. Try and avoid the plastic ones if you can. You only give an ounce at a time, and you'll try the elevated bowl. That was fantastic advice. That was, EH. I'm really impressed with that. Yeah, just try even smaller, and then if it is still happening with those other things as well, then go back to your vet and ask about food intolerance. But it does sound like food bath. Um, if you fed her cooked poached chicken, human chicken, would she still do it then? That's the question. I perhaps try that. I mean, you can't feed that all the time because it's not complete, but it would just give you an idea. Is it the way she's being fed low down? Is it the fact that she's eating too quickly? Or, so just I would look at that as well. For ideas. Oh dear, that's a cat just going out. So the next, you haven't tried human chicken. I will. Okay. I normally poach mine in, put water, in chicken in the water, put it in the oven, and then just shred it afterwards when it's cooked. Obviously no seasoning, no oil, nothing like that, just as bland as it is. And that's really good if you've got a cat that suddenly goes off the food as well, or had a bit of an upset tummy. Then human chicken's normally quite good, but as I said, you can't feed it all the time because it's not complete. But as little treats and extra calories, especially with senior cats that can be really fussy, then that can be quite good. So if there's no more questions, I will end. Oh, Bev, you putting the links in. So remember that you can come back and ask a question, and I'll be answering them. I will go back and answer for about a week afterwards. I don't know whether this chat is all catalogued. I know I've been asked before, can it be, listed, so what we're talking about at what point, but I don't know how to do that, whether it's a setting or not, I don't know, but hopefully it is, and if it isn't, I will try and look into it, I promise. But have all of you have a great month, because I'll see you in a month's time, the 12th of August at 6 o'clock, British summer time. So I think that's about, well, you're all in different time zones, so it's no good me saying what your time zone will be because I'll have no idea, but I just know when mine are. And I do have some sad news. We've got sad news, haven't we? Pudding and Sydney are going to their new home. So It is with deep sorrow that they may not be here next time. So you won't be seeing Pudding and Sydney unless I go and do a live at my son and girlfriend's house, in which case we'll see them then. But no more Pudding. What we're going to do without you? Oh, I'm going to miss her so much. I'm going to miss them both because they're such huge personalities. And they've really done well mingling with all of my boys. Um, but it does mean that there'll be two more spaces in the house. So watch this space because I do have plans. But I'm going to really miss my little grand kittens. So yeah, the girl gang is leaving you. So wave bye-bye, Pudding. Bye. I'll see you all next time. Have a great few weeks, everybody, and look after yourselves and look after your cats. And thanks for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. Meow for now. And thank you, Bev, for being a marvellous moderator. And bon voyage, Pudding and Sydney. Oh, I feel like I'm going to cry. What am I going to do next time? Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Meow for now, everybody. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.